nice day enjoying the sunshine. It's a glorious bank holiday weekend. Okay, we'll get started. Hello, Joanne. Okay, so we're going to start on our back. And softly close the eyes. Take the feet as wide as the mat and allow the knees just to roll into the center, resting against each other. This allows the back to release any tension, especially in the lower spine. Turn that down. Take the hands onto the lower belly. Just allow yourself to arrive on the mat. Leave all your thoughts behind. This is the time for you, for your body. Getting out of the mind. Taking stock. We're going to do a 4-count box breath. So we're inhaling for a count of 4. We're holding for a count of 4. We're exhaling for a count of 4. And we're holding the exhale for a count of 4. So we'll do it together. We'll start off together, and then if the pace is too fast or too slow, you'd like to increase it or decrease, take it to your own count. I'll just give you a rough idea of how we're going to go. So on the inhale, for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, hold, 2, 3, 4, and inhale. Taking your own count here. We're going to do a minute of this. About 2 more rounds. Inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, and holding the exhale for a count of 4. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees out to the side. Inhaling the knees up together and exhaling them down. Inhale up and exhale them down. So we're just starting to bring movement with the breath. So taking it nice and slow, inhaling as they come up. Exhaling, we can do our count of 4 again. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, and the next inhale, we're going to bring our arms up over our heads, stretching out over the head as far as you can. Exhale, bring the hands to the lower belly. In this inhale, we're going to reach the arms up and drop the knees out at the same time. And on the exhale, we're bringing the hands back to the belly as the knees draw towards each other. Taking a couple of rounds of this. We're inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, closing. Inhaling, open up. Exhaling, closing. Nice and slow. Try to get the knees down just at the end of the exhale or inhale. Right, first start exhale and then inhaling. Inhale and exhale. Okay, staying here. We're going to draw the feet in towards the bum. See if you can reach the heels. Don't worry if you can't. You're a little bit off, that's fine. Just kind of aiming towards getting them there. And then on the next inhale, we're going to slowly start to peel the pelvis off the ground, pulling one vertebrae up at a time. And exhaling, dropping down. We're not going too deep into this. Take it really gentle, just slowly waking up the spine. So we're not even going into a full little bridge. Just lifting the pelvis ever so slightly, and dropping it down. Up and up and down. And one last time, up. Really trying to focus on getting one vertebrae down at a time. Resting the bum back on the ground. Take the arms out about 90 degrees, shoulder level. We're going to drop both knees over to the right hand side. Inhale up and exhale to the left. Inhale up to the right. Inhale up, exhale to the left. So we're loosening out that lower spine, the hips, massaging the lower back into the ground. Next time you come onto your right side, we're just going to roll over onto our side, come up into a 90-90 shape in the legs, so like a seated position, both legs out by the side. We try and get a 90 degree here and at the knee, and again from the hip down to the knee. And we're just turning back and forth, rocking the hips, loosening out the knees, the hips. Forward and back. So if your right leg is out in front, we're going to turn towards the right hip, looking over the back shoulder for a little twist. Exhaling, we're going to walk the hands a little forward and start to drop the head towards the ground, like a bow. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up, we're making waves with the spine. Lift up and exhale down. Try to make it as wave-like as you possibly can. Loosening out the back body. And one last time, down and up. And we're turning. We're going to change legs. So bringing the left leg in front this time, right leg back. Again, check your 90-90. And then just rocking the hips back and forth. Kind of massaging the left glute into the ground here. Pull the toes back up towards the knees. Keeping the toes activated protects the knee joints. They're not so easy to heal. Back and forth. And then this time we're turning over to the left, looking over the left shoulder for a little twist first. Exhaling, walking the hands out to the side as we lower and drop the head down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Making it like a wave. Moving the vertebrae in a way you haven't moved them today. Taking it nice and slow. last time. Coming up. And we're going to swing both legs back and we're coming onto all fours. So we'll start off with some wrist mobility. So fingers pointing straight forward, just going to rock back and forth, keep it simple for the beginning. And then turning the fingers back towards the knees and leaning back, bringing the bum towards the heels. Stretching out the front of the wrist. Then turning the palms out so the fingers are pointing the long side of the mat. And we're going to rotate the elbows this time. So elbow creases should be facing towards each other, then we're going to roll them forward and back in towards each other. So make this a really conscious movement. See how the wrists feel here, the shoulders working. It's sore, just ease off a little bit. Then we're turning palms up, so fingers pointing towards each other, resting on the back of the wrist. We're lowering down and inhaling up. Starting to introduce a little bit of weight, just enough to massage the back of the wrist. And create waves here as well. And then coming back to a tabletop position. So stretching the fingers out as wide as they'll possibly go. Middle finger pointing forward, thumbs kind of pointing towards each other as close as they can get to that. Directly underneath the shoulders. Check that your knees are directly underneath your hips and your feet are straight back, the tops of the feet planted in the ground. We're going to inhale, lengthen up, open the chest forward as we draw the tailbone up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, curling the tailbone, initiating the movement. We dome through the upper back, drawing the chin towards the chest, bringing the gaze between the legs. Inhaling up, drawing the hands towards the knees. Exhaling, pushing the knees and hands away from each other. Inhaling again, opening the front body. Exhaling, closing that off to find space in the back body. Inhale up and exhale back to neutral. So we're going to do some hip rotations here. Rocking them forward and back. You can exaggerate these as much as you like, as much as is comfortable. And then we're going to change direction. And then back into our neutral tabletop position. You're going to kick back out through the right heel. Really pushing through the heel and drawing the toes back towards the knee. On the exhale, we're bringing that knee to the elbow. Inhaling back, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale back, knee to elbow. Do 2 more rounds, knee to elbow. And this time we're going to plant the foot to the outside of the hands. If it's comfortable for you, just start to move the toes, try and get the foot a little bit more forward. And then we're going to sink the hips forward, coming into a blaster pose. Getting some lovely sunshine on my face. We're really sinking into the hips, opening the hip flexors. Then start to bring some movement into this pose. So we're shifting the hips back, straightening the front leg, and moving the hips forward. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward. This time we're going to stay forward, lifting the chest. We're going to plant the left hand down on the ground, taking the right hand to the knee. We're just opening the chest up towards the ceiling, creating a nice twist. Remembering to breathe here, soften the face, the jaw. Allowing the inhale and exhale come easy. And dropping both hands back towards the ground. Scoop the foot back. We're going to take our hands a little bit wider than the mat. Turn them out 45 degrees. We're going to sit back onto our bum. Inhaling, creating that wave again as we shift the hips forward, opening the chest, coming into a cobra. Just coming into a light cobra, making waves with the spine again. You don't want to come too far forward. Just taking it nice and easy. And sitting back onto your heels and rolling up into a tabletop again. This time we're going to kick back through the left foot. The left heel is pushing away from the body as the toes are drawing back up towards the knee. Exhaling, bringing that knee to the outside of the elbow. Inhaling it back. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to elbow. And back. We're going to do 2 more. And on the last one, we're going to plant the foot to the outside of the left hand. And scooch that foot a little forward, as much as is comfortable, and then we're sinking down into the hips. Just allowing the hip flexor on this side to open up. Breathing deep down into that area of tightness. Opening the chest, creating a long spine, tucking the tailbone to increase the stretch a little bit further. Planting down through that back foot. And then we're going to start to bring some movement into the hips. So back and forth. Inhaling forwards, exhaling back. This is a nice stretch for the hamstrings. Going to help us in our downward dog in a few minutes. And we're going to sit back into it for a second. Just let that hamstring loosen. And scooping forward. We're going to plant down through the right foot hand this time. And then taking the left hand onto the knee. We're opening the chest up towards the ceiling. So we're just using the hand on the knee as support. We're not leveraging off it too much. Just to encourage the twist from the lower ribs. Finding the breath here. Bring it back to the 4 count breath. 4 inhale and a 4 exhale. And then we're exhaling down and we're scooping that leg back. Going into our tabletop again. We're going to do everybody's favorite floating table. So we're tucking the toes under, pushing out through the heels as we slowly start to lift the knees off the ground. Just a couple of inches, you don't want to be too high. We're going to hold here, engaging the core, pushing the ground away. We're going to start bringing the hands, the fingertips towards each other as the shoulders draw away, same as we would in downward dog. And lowering the knees down, drop the bum to heels. Walk the hands a little bit forward, and then taking them both out to the left side, stretching out the right side body. You can rest the head here, taking a couple breaths. As we inhale, finding space between each rib cage. And walking the hands back to center. Coming back up for our second floating table, tucking the toes, pushing through the heels, lifting the knees. Strong legs, pushing the ground away with the hands. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Long, straight spine. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, bump to heels, reaching the hands forward, taking them out to the right side this time. Resting the head. On every inhale, we're finding space between the ribs, inflating that rib cage. Every exhale, you can take the hand a little bit further away. Don't go too deep, just find your comfortable stretch. Inhale, back to center, all the way up into our last floating table. Tucking the toes under, lifting the knees ever so slightly, a couple of inches. Bring the gaze forward, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, soften the jaw, pushing out through the heels, tuck the tailbone. And drop it down. Bum to heels. Walk the hands out, staying in child's pose just for a moment. Give the hands a rest, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. If your wrists get sore at any point, this is a good position to come into. Child's pose. Still getting a nice stretch through the back body while the front body can soften. Turning the palms up, opens up the shoulders and releases the wrists. Then we're coming up into our tabletop. We're taking the right heel back, stretching it out. And then the left heel back, also stretching it out. We're finding ourselves in a plank. From this plank, we're going to shift the weight forward and then bending the elbows, keeping them tight into the body as we slowly lower down all the way to the belly. Taking both arms out, 90 degrees, shoulder level. We're going to turn over the right arm. So the right arm stays out wide. We're going to lift the chest off the ground with the left hand for support, and taking the left leg over to the right side of the body. We're opening up our shoulder, stretching out the pecs. We want to keep the head lifted here, engaged. Keeping the spine straight on the top. Getting a nice twist and opening for the shoulder. And exhale, we're going to come down out of that, and we'll do the other side. So taking the left arm out straight, we're going to peel the chest off the ground using the right hand as support. Lifting the right leg, taking it over to the left side body. Keeping the head lifted. Telling the shoulder it's okay not to tense up. let it release. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back onto the belly. We're going to prop ourselves up on our elbows here, coming into a baby cobra. Then taking the left hand into the center, rolling onto your left hip. We're going to do some leg raises. So inhaling, bringing the leg up, exhaling it down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. You just keep going. If this is sore on your hip, then just grab a blanket or a cushion and you can place it underneath the hip. I'm going to do 2 more. Inhale up, exhale down. Up and down. Should start to feel some fatigue in the hip. We're going to roll onto the other side. Rolling onto the right hip. Inhaling the left leg up and exhaling down. Then up, exhale down. Trying to get that hip to come up right in the center. So don't want to be going too far forward or too far back, creating a back bend. Just coming right up in the center. Just 2 more. There we go. Coming onto the belly again. We're going to go back onto the first side. So I'm taking the elbow directly underneath the shoulder, maybe even just slightly further forward, planting down through the fist of the left hand and pushing the right hand into the fist as you lift the hips up, coming into a side plank. So if you're finding this one difficult, you can use the top leg to support, bring the foot out in front or behind, whichever feels more comfortable. We're going to do some hip dips. So dropping the hip down and drawing it up. Down and up. We're going to go 2 more. Down, up, and drop it down. Whew, they're tough. We're going to roll onto the other side. Planting down through the right shoulder. Just checking your alignment here before you come up. When it's ready, you can lift the hips up. We're going to hold for a few seconds. Just 2 breaths. And we're dropping the hip down, inhaling up. Exhale down, inhale up. Keep going. Build up some fatigue in the hips, in the waist. We start to see real results. 2 more. And drop it down. Okay, so bringing the hands directly either side of the chest. We're going to lift up into a downward dog. So we're just going to open up the back body first. So our downward dogs are going to be pretty loose. Bendy knees. You can walk the feet into the ground one at a time. So loosening out the back body. So now we're going to get into a bit more alignment. So we're widening the fingers as much as we can, pushing down through the base knuckles and tips of fingers until the middle arches start to lift. Internally rotating our hands. So we draw the energy up through the arms, externally rotate the shoulders away from the ears. We're bending the knees and we're lengthening the back, pushing the hips up and back. And we're starting to engage the quads lifting the knees up into the tops of the legs as we start to slowly plant the heels towards the ground. Engaging the core strongly, finding length in the side body. We're going to inhale up onto tippy toes, exhaling, walking the hands to the front of the mat. Sorry, feet to the front of the mat. We're going to take our feet wide here, as wide as our hips. Take opposite elbows, allow the head to be heavy, and you can rock back and forth. Just play around with this one, maybe forward and back. See how it feels to shift the weight into the toes, into the heels. Where does that move the stretch? Rocking from side to side, straightening one leg at a time. Turning the head to say no, and then nodding it for yes. Getting the head to be really loose. And we're going to loosen the arms, allow them to fall to the ground. A little bend in the knee. And start to slowly roll the spine up to standing. Stacking one vertebrae at a time. Rounding the spine, rounding the neck. We're going to open the shoulders and slowly look slightly up. Don't drop the head back. Just bringing the gaze up towards the ceiling. Okay, come into a neutral position. We're coming to step to the front of the mat. Toes together, heels slightly apart. So the outer line of the feet to be in line with the outer line of your mat. So tilting the pelvis, some of us might be tilted forward or back. We just want to try and get a neutral pelvis here. And rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and draw them down the back. Inhaling, going to reach the arms up, look up for our first sun salute. Exhaling, folding forward. Then inhaling, bringing the gaze forward as you lengthen the spine. Exhale all the way down, stepping the feet back into a plank. We're going to shift the weight forward as we lower down towards the ground, and then inhale, up dog. Exhale for down dog. Taking 5 breaths here, 4 count breaths. Remembering all our alignment, fingers wide, pressing through the base knuckles. Internally rotate the fingers, externally rotate the shoulders away from the ears, creating a corkscrew effect. Lengthening the side body, pushing the hips away with the hands. We're going to inhale up onto tippy toes, exhale, pushing the heels into the ground. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This time inhale up, we're going to walk forward towards the front of the mat. Taking the feet together if it's comfortable. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, swooping up or curling the spine, whichever is more comfortable. Reaching the arms up, bringing the hands to prayer, look up, and exhale, coming back to mountain pose. So we'll shake out, loosen out the body. We're going to step the right foot back. You're coming into about a meter distance between the front foot and the back. Depending on the length of your legs, you might need to increase or decrease that. So we're going to bend that front knee. Our front foot is pointing towards the short side of the mat. Our back foot is pointing towards the long side. So it's about a 90-degree angle. We're sinking down into the hips. Again, checking the pelvis is not pushing back or forward, just keeping it nice and neutral. Then taking the left elbow onto the left knee, I'm going to reach the right hand up and over towards the front of the room. Bring the gaze up along that top hand. Trying to create as much space as we can between the heel and the fingertips. Inhaling, inflating that rib cage. And inhaling, we're going to come up into a warrior two. Sinking the hips a little bit deeper. Trying to create that 90-degree bend in the knee. Just checking that the knee is over the heel. If the knee is rolled in, you just want to pull it out a little bit. So we want to keep everything stacked and supported. Bring the gaze over those left fingertips for a few more seconds. And then we're inhaling, straightening that front leg. Hands in prayer. You can take the back foot in a little bit more. And then we're going to reach the arms out wide again. We're going to inhale as if someone's pulling that left hand forward. You don't want to go, we're keeping the ribs in here. And then we're exhaling, allowing that hand to come to the shin. So we're not resting weight into that hand, we're just using it as support. And the right hand is reaching up towards the ceiling. We really want to open the chest up towards the ceiling. Making ourselves as flat as we possibly can. One single line. Triangle pose, a few more seconds. Drawing up that energy from the arches of the feet all the way up through the inner line of the leg. And then exhaling, we're going to bring the gaze to the big toe. Inhale all the way up. Dropping the arms down, we're going to just change sides. So right foot goes out towards the short side of the mat. Left foot pointing towards the long side of the mat. Checking our pelvis. Reaching the arms wide. Oh, sorry. And then we're going to bend the knee. Forgetting where we're going. Bringing the right elbow to the knee. Left hand swoops up and over towards the back of the mat. Bringing the gaze up towards that top hand. Imagine somebody's swooping your bum underneath and forward. So you're externally rotating that bent knee. All the time keeping it stacked over the ankle. Trying to find as much space as you can between the heel and the tips of the fingers. Inhaling all the way up into our warrior two. Keeping the gaze over the right fingertips. Hands should be level with the shoulders. Just give a quick check. Bending the knee. Check that it's directly over the heel. Nice, stacked and supported. Drawing through both feet all the way up into the pelvis. Legs are strongly engaged. And exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg, bring the palms together. You might need to step the back foot in ever so slightly. Then we're reaching the arms wide again, as if somebody's pulling that right hand forward. And inhale and then exhaling, dropping it down. Finding it support on the shin, the knee or the ankle. You find when you go down further you start to roll forward and just come up a little bit higher. So imagine I'm just pulling your wrist up a little bit further towards the ceiling. Tucking that right glute underneath and forward. And then inhaling all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. All toes pointing towards the long side of the mat this time. And then we're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back, open the chest. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you fold forward. See if you can take the hands to the ground. Maybe if you can reach the ground, then maybe walk them back so they're in line with the feet. Bring the gaze forward, you can lengthen up through the spine. Exhaling as you shift the weight into the toes. Maybe going a little bit closer to the ground. Again, drawing that energy line up from the feet all the way up through the inside of the leg, into the pelvis, increasing that stretch a little bit further. Lifting the tailbone. Pushing strongly through the outer edge of the foot. And inhale all the way up. Bring the hands to the hips. Bend the knees. We're going to shake it out. So taking the feet as wide as the mat, turning them out about 45 degrees. And we're going to come into a squat. So we're not going to go fully into a squat, we're just going to take the feet, so as we drop down, we're going to slowly drop the bum and resting the hands on the knees, keeping the bum relatively high. And we're going to do a few dips with the bum, down and up. It's like a frog exercise, like a slow leap. We're springing through the knees. This is a great one for the glutes, for the knees, even for the ankles. Sorry about all the beeps and cars. That's so relaxing. And then finally we're going to drop the bum down, taking the hands to prayer and opening up the hips as we push the elbows into the knees. And we're going to take the left hand down. We're going to sweep the right hand up for a nice twist, opening the shoulders. And exhale down. Do right hand down, swooping up with the left hand this time. Creating a nice twist and opening in the back and the shoulders. And exhale down. You can take both hands behind, slowly walk the bum to the ground. Taking the right leg out wide, bringing the left foot into the groin. As much as is comfortable. If you find your knee is quite high here, that's okay. If you want to grab a bolster or something to pop under it. This is a little stool. To pop under it just for support, it's good. If you don't need it, that's grand. So pushing the big toe mound into the inner thigh. We're going to turn towards the right leg, opening the chest, looking up, creating a long spine. And then exhaling, we're going to just draw the chest towards the foot. So I want to try and keep a long spine here. We're strongly engaging that front leg. If you find as soon as you go forward you start to curve in the spine, then just come back. Maybe your pose is just supporting from behind. That's a good place to start. If you have it in your practice to scooch the hands a little bit more forward, do so. And we're inhaling up, and we're just going to change sides. Taking the left leg out in front, right knee is bent, and you're pushing the big toe mound into the inner thigh. That just protects the knee a little bit more. We're going to inhale, lengthen up through the spine, exhaling, folding over that left leg. drawing the chest towards the foot rather than the head. When we draw the head, we tend to curve in the spine. Drawing the chest just kind of pushes the whole body forward, hinging from the hips. Keeping the gaze towards the toes, keeping the toes drawn back towards the knee. And inhale up. And coming into, we're going to do some prep for both pose. Just conscious of the time now, so we'll just do a few of these. Might just do one boat, everybody be glad to hear. So taking the hands behind the knees, we're going to roll the spine back, away from, bringing the chest away from the knees. We're inhaling, drawing the chest up, opening the chest as we draw the shoulders back. Exhaling, curling. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, curl. Now these movements can be as big or as small as is comfortable for you. Just honouring your own body, finding your own range of motion. Inhaling up. If you find like you're crunching your tailbone here, a blanket underneath would be advised. So that'll help in the boat pose as well. So this time we're going to start to lean back, but we're keeping the shoulder blades drawn towards each other. That helps us to open the chest. As we maybe take one foot up, if that feels okay, maybe taking the next foot up. If you're happy here, we're going to magnetize the knees together as we release the hands. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking the soles of the feet together, creating a diamond shape in the legs. And you can allow the upper body just to softly fold. There's no effort here. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. Slowly, nice breaths. And we're going to inhale up. Taking the hands back behind, fingers pointing forward, keeping the feet together. Just going to inhale, lift the hips up, exhaling them down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Scoop the bum between their hands, taking the feet out in front. I'm just going to do a quick staff pose. I'm going to take the fleshy bits off your sit bones, just helps you to sit up a little bit more straight. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, creating as much length as you can in the side body without hunching the shoulders up towards the ears, drawing them down. Engaging the knee or the thighs, so they're engaging the quads, the kneecaps lift up into the quads. Pulling the toes back towards the knees, pushing the heels away. On the next exhale, we're going to inhale, we're going to reach the hands forward. Exhale, we're slowly going to start to lower the back onto the ground. All the time reaching forward, keeping it nice and controlled. Reaching, and then dropping the hands down, the head down. We're not done just yet. So taking the feet in towards the bum. We're going to inhale the right leg up. See if you can take hold of the back of the knee, the thigh, the back of the knee, or even up a little bit higher. Finding a nice stretch through the hamstrings, the glutes, calves, pushing the heel away, drawing the shoulder blades back into the ground. Then taking that right foot, bringing it on top of the left knee, drawing the right knee away from the body as you lift the left knee towards the body, towards the chest. See if you can take it the back of the knee or the front of the knee. You can draw it into the chest, pushing through the heel, both feet, keeping the knee protected. Legs are strongly activated. And exhale it down. We're going to change sides. So left leg is up. Again, we're going to see where we can hold it. Back of the thigh, knee, maybe walking it all the way up to the calf. If your shoulders tend to lift when you get to here, that's okay, but we're just going to draw them back down, increasing the stretch a little bit more. The shake is good. We don't want anything too intense. Don't overdo it. Try and plug the left hip back into its socket. Drawing up through the heel to pull the toes back towards the knee. Finding our breath here. And exhale. We're going to drop that left heel onto the right knee. And lifting the right knee as we push the left knee away. See if you can take the back of the right knee or the shin for a deeper stretch. All the time hugging that right knee into the chest. Pulling the toes back towards the knee, protecting it. We don't overdo it. Finding a nice stretch through the hips and the legs here. It's like a reclined pigeon. And exhale it down. Bring both arms out shoulder level, 90 degrees. Bringing both knees over to the right side. Try and stack one knee on top of the other. So that might mean plugging the right knee in as the left knee goes forward. Bringing the gaze over the left shoulder. Creating a nice twist just to help us release any tension. And inhale up. And we'll change sides. Again, stacking each knee on top of one another. That might mean plugging the left knee in as the right knee scoops forward. Bringing the gaze over the right shoulder. Trying to keep the right shoulder planted into the ground. Your inhales might not be able to be so deep here. The diaphragm can be a little bit restricted in these twists. That's okay, we're going to just come out of it now in a sec. And inhale, rolling up. We're going to hug the knees into the chest, lifting the head into the knees, giving yourself a nice tight squeeze, really big hug. We could all do it one of these days. And exhale, release, releasing the hands to the ground, releasing the feet, taking them as wide as the mat. Going into our last pose, Shavasana. And close the eyes softly. If you need to get a couple of extra layers, do so. If you have any pinching or pain in your lower back, you can just do as we did at the start, taking the feet wide, allowing the knees to roll in, just as a nice little support for the back. Softly closing the eyes. allowing yourself to become almost sleepy. Bringing the focus to the body again. Starting in the toes. Moving slowly up through the feet. All the way into the ankles. Calves. All the way up into the knees. The upper legs. The hips. Lower back. Upper back. Allowing the belly to soften. Feeling the ebb and flow of the chest without any effort. Relaxing the fingertips. Moving through the palms of the hands, back of the hands. Feeling the wrists release. The forearms. The elbows. The upper arm. Shoulders. Allow the shoulders to relax, soften away from the ears, soften the neck, throat, the jawline, your ears, your cheeks, soften the lips, allow them to slightly open. Tongue rests softly on the lower palate. Notice how the air moves around the nose, softening the space between the eyebrows, the eyes, the forehead. Feel the weight of the head on the back as it rests on the mat. Allow it to be supported. You are supported. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, just completely relax. Soft and steady breath. In your own time, when you're ready, we'll start to bring focus back to the body, to the room, to the surroundings. Once again, finding the breath, uncontrolled, just ebbing and flowing. Let that movement ripple out into your fingers, into your toes. Starting to create bigger movements, rotating the wrists, maybe turning the head left and right. Hug the knees up into the chest. If you're ready, roll onto your side, coming up into a seated position. We'll just close the practice. Sitting in a cross-legged position, taking one hand on onto the belly, one hand onto the chest. Softly close the eyes. May this practice heal and strengthen my body and mind. May this practice heal and strengthen my body and mind. Thank you all for practicing with me today. Hope to see you all soon and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye. Whoa.